All right, breaking news. The Donald Trump White House is in disarray as FBI Director Kash Patel is reportedly going to be kicked out of his position in the next few weeks. Less than a week ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned from Congress, therefore shrinking the Republican majority in Congress. They are hanging on by a thread. At this very critical moment in the MAGA Civil War, FBI Director Kash Patel is going to be kicked out because he spent the first 10 months being the FBI director.
In Washington today, the Senate Judiciary Committee grilled FBI Director Kash Patel.
It's an honor to be here with you today as the 9th Director of the FBI to bring this fugitive to justice. We have also arrested, this may be the most important part, about to face charges at the same time last year. Ongoing investigations, not crime-free, and we're going to keep going.
Donald Trump was on a rampage right before Thanksgiving. Donald Trump hates holidays because it's a time when people can reflect on things other than his chaos and madness. So that's when he always tries to draw attention to himself. Also, Donald Trump horribly mismanaged that tragic shooting in Washington, D.C. One of the things that we learned, the shooting involving 2 National Guardsmen, is that the shooter actually received asylum by Donald Trump in April of this past year. Donald Trump spent the time trying to be divisive, attacking former President Biden and attacking Somalis in Minnesota because Donald Trump is a despicable racist. Let me just show you what Donald Trump's been ranting and raving about all throughout the evening and into the morning. He's posting that South Africa is hereby not invited to next year's G20 because Donald Trump decided to boycott the G20 in South Africa.
Imagine writing children's novels in which you play a wizard who serves King Donald because you are so loyal to him. Now picture Jimmy Kimmel completely attacking that person on national television, getting suspended for it, and still winning. Imagine that person going on to become the head of the FBI. With Kash Patel, that is precisely what took place. And believe me, this tale is far more bizarre than it seems. You won't want to miss what happens next when we reveal one of the most outrageous feuds in late-night TV history. So hit the subscribe button before we get into how Kimmel practically hauled this person off the air.
And then President Ramaphosa of South Africa said, well, if you're boycotting, then you can't attend the gavel passing ceremony for you to be the host next year because you're not attending the G20 and you've claimed that we're involved in a white genocide, which is malicious and false and just outrageous and racist. So then Donald Trump responds at the conclusion, this was Donald Trump's post yesterday, at the conclusion of the G20, South Africa refused to hand off the G20 presidency to a senior U.S. representative from our embassy who attended the closing ceremony. Therefore, at my direction, South Africa will not be receiving an invitation to the 2026 G20, which will be hosted in the great city of Miami, Florida next year.
Right. Trump is not a happy little meal right now. Every time he gets asked about Jeffrey Epstein, he loses his mind.
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Go ahead.
Incriminating in the file, Venezuela, sir.
Quiet, Piggy.
He called her Piggy. He said, "Quiet Piggy," to a reporter, and it barely made the news. If a man spoke like that to a female coworker in like a workplace harassment training video, you go, that's over the top. Nobody would do that. But if the pilot on Air Force One behaved like the president, he wouldn't be allowed to fly the plane, okay? That was Friday.
Covering up the Epstein files, which Trump should appreciate, but then also flying his girlfriend around in government jets. There are reports that they are flying government jets around as if they are luxury private jets and using SWAT teams as the personal security guard for Kash Patel and his girlfriend. They are using public office for personal enrichment, which is quite literally the definition of corruption. So this corrupt Epstein file cover-upper, if that is a verb, is now about to lose the very position of power that he has been abusing. Let's just back up a few days, because we also learned that Kash Patel is now casting doubt on the full release of the Epstein files.
In December 2024, the wizard was appointed director of the FBI. Donald Trump declares Kash Patel as his choice to lead the FBI. Now fasten your seatbelts if you have no idea who Kash Patel is. During Trump's first term, this man was the chief of staff at the Department of Defense. Additionally, he has essentially turned his role as Trump's most devoted supporter into a job. This is when things become completely crazy, though. Patel chose to write children's books, not just any children's books, while he was not in government between Trump's administrations. The Plot Against the King is the title of his trilogy. When Jimmy Kimmel learned about this, he went all out on December 2nd, 2024.
South Africa has demonstrated to the world they are not a country worthy of membership anywhere, and we are going to stop all payments and subsidies to them effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You are a despicable human being, Donald. You made up that there's a white genocide taking place, which is false. You had President Ramaphosa showed up to the Oval Office several months back with white Afrikaners who are part of his government. They were telling you there's no white genocide. You were putting up these deranged QAnon conspiracy videos, and you made a fool of yourself while President Ramaphosa kept his cool. President Ramaphosa and the G20 nations, I guess the G19, put on an impeccable ceremony while you were ranting and raving and whining here, deciding not to show up.
Donald Trump's FBI director has cast doubt on whether the Epstein files will be released in full, which this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene has been saying. Kash Patel has become the deep state. And I never thought I'd be aligning with Marjorie or quoting Marjorie, but when Marjorie resigned, she said that her fear is basically the Trump administration is not playing 4D chess. They are actually creating a deeper and deeper swamp. This is what I've been saying on this channel for years. Donald Trump is not draining the swamp. He is creating a deeper one. He is not fighting the deep state. He's creating his own deep state, where his daughter-in-law is the RNC chair, where crazy-eyed Kash Patel is helping him cover up the Epstein files.
Kimmel informed his audience that Patel has promised to imprison judges, public servants, and members of the media who dare to disagree with Donald Trump. Already terrifying, huh? However, Kimmel later made the children's books public. Patel portrays himself as Kash, the renowned wizard and discoverer, in these novels. King Donald is Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton replaces Hillary Clinton. Baron von Biden, sometimes known as Joe Biden, is drowsy. And here's the thing, Kamala is Kamala Harris. This isn't anything I made up. Trump's choice to lead the FBI authored children's books in which he plays a magical wizard protecting King Trump from villains that are evil and have names like the Shifty Knight. By the way, that's Adam Schiff, and James Comey is Keeper Comey. After that, Kimmel said something that made everyone in the audience laugh uncontrollably.